Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make a Christmas decoration. Now I had this vision and it kind of fed off of something I did before. So for Halloween, over my countertop, so over my island in the kitchen, I hung a garland, and then from that I just kind of kept building, and I strung up with fishing string some bats that hung from it, and it was so cute that I thought I would do a Christmas version. So that's what I'm here to do today. I got all of this stuff at Hobby Lobby, and Hobby Lobby is actually 60% off Christmas right now, and it's only November, so I feel like that was a pretty good deal. So here's a couple of things I got. I'll show you. These two things were from last year, but I think that I saw something very similar to this there right now. So they're ornaments, and they're kind of farmhouse, woodland themed, which is basically a style of my home. And I found these little snowmen. They're so cute. And these candy canes, and these little wood snowflakes, which, I mean, $8 and 60% off. It's pretty good. Aren't they cute? So that, and then I have these, and these are leftover from last year, but I'm sure you can find something similar. Adorable. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these yet, but we'll see. And then I have a couple ornaments that we might tie on as well. We're just going to kind of start working on it and see where it goes and how it develops. Oh, and then this garland I got at Hobby Lobby too. I actually got 2 pieces because that's how much I need to fill the entire space. And I went ahead and hung it where the clips are on, the command clips are on the top of my ceiling, and then I put a little piece of tape on the garland where those clips are, so that while I'm working on this, see, like here's a piece, while I'm working on this, I can kind of know in my head where things are going to be. So let's get started. Okay, so I've tied all my ornaments on to the garland, and now I am going to put it up in the kitchen and see what it looks like and do little adjustments from there. So come with me. Okay, so now we're in the kitchen and we're gonna get this hung, and then we'll adjust and tweak as we go. Okay, so I don't like the length of quite a few of these. I don't want them to be distracting or in our view while we're trying to talk to each other or whatever. So I'm going to go through and just simply clip a couple of them and retie them to be the right length. Okay, so not bad. We did have to go through and tweak them. I probably should have hung the garland first and then just tied each one on individually in the first place, but you know, you live and you learn, and that's why I want to do this channel, because I'd like people to see that things don't end up perfect on the first try. We always have to amend the way that we thought we might be able to do something and work on it so that it ends up being what our vision is or leads us to a new vision. So that's the point. But I think it turned out pretty good. I'm gonna just go through and cut all the extra little strings and make it perfect. Okay, it is seriously so darling. I wish that I could show you how cute it is. I feel like the video isn't even close. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so now that we've got our Christmas decoration hung and sitting all happy and pretty, let's make ourselves something to drink. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of a pumpkin spice latte, mocha, I don't know. We still have leftover fresh pumpkin from the other day when as you were along for the ride, when we scraped out all the pumpkin pie pumpkins and got that all into the freezer. And by the way, that pie was so amazingly good. You have to try that recipe and absolutely go the whole distance with the fresh pie. It really does make that much of a difference. So you got to try that. But in the meantime, let's make ourselves a drink. I got these really cute little mugs at the Dollar Tree. So they were only $1 a piece, and they're super cute for both hot chocolate was my original idea, but today I think we're gonna make a treat for us. Okay, so we're just gonna get the stove on, and we're going to add our pumpkin, fresh pumpkin from the other night. Okay, so we just added some of our pumpkin. We want to kind of move that around. It's a little hot. That way, and then we want to add some cinnamon, pumpkin pie spice, and sugar to the mix. I just eyeball it. For you, but I'll put a recipe in the link. just want to cook the pumpkin enough that we get the raw taste out of it. Once it's on the heat for just a little bit, it'll taste more cooked, kind of like a pumpkin pie. I first made this recipe back when I first started watching Food Babe, or following her, I should say, on Instagram. She's amazing. She's done so much to protect Americans from terrible things that companies put in our food. But I remember one of her things was about the gross stuff that we find in some of our coffee drinks from the big box stores. So she had a recipe on pumpkin spice lattes. Oh, I'm out of it today. And I remember making it for my husband and I, and we were like, okay, we are not going back to $6 coffees. Okay, so this is our little coffee station. I'm just gonna get a cup of coffee rolling here. You can see my cups from the Dollar Tree. Got the sign at Hobby Lobby, super cute. Again, 60% off. And we just have our little collection here. This is from Hobby Lobby too. And the cup is from the dollar store. Okay friends, we are ready to make our pumpkin spice latte. So we're going to take the mixture that we just made on the stove. I'm going to scrape that into the corner here. I think I'm going to put some of this into our cup of coffee because it's so hot. It'll melt it down really nice. So move that out of the way. Stir this up. It's nice and creamy. Okay. So I'm going to split this between these two cups here. Not very even. There we go. Okay, I'll leave that one. That one is going to be for my husband when he gets home from work. He loves an afternoon coffee. So I'm just going to pour a little milk in mine. You might want to pour some cream in yours. And I'll just top it off with a little fancy whipped cream. It's so cute, isn't it? Honest to God, that is the best pumpkin spice coffee I've ever had. You really have to try it with the fresh pumpkin. It's just amazing. It's so good. Okay, well, let's get started on our next project. Our next project is sourdough bagels. I know that sounds a little weird, but for anyone who keeps a sourdough starter, you quickly understand how much starter you end up with. Because we feed it every day, it gets bigger and bigger. I keep mine in a jar like this, and it just depends on the day on how much I give it. If I've used it, I put more flour in and water. But anyway, today we have to get rid of some of this, so we are going to use it to make sourdough bagels. We are going to do the New York style where we boil them and then bake them. They are phenomenal. My family loves them and they go really fast. I bake a double recipe, which makes 12. But if you don't have that many people in your family, you can easily cut this recipe in half and just make 6 for yourself. Or you could just make the full 12 and freeze half of them. I promise you, you will not regret that decision. So let's get started with that. I will tell you that I made this one last night so that we are able to bake together today. It is a 2-day recipe. So I'll make the dough with you, but just understand that that dough goes in the fridge overnight and then you'll be able to bake the next day. So let's get started. Okay, so one thing you want to make sure of when you are baking anything with sourdough is that you have a scale. I am not a precise person in any terms except for in 2 areas. 1, my photography, and 2, working with sourdough. Because you have to have exactly the right ingredients, of course, but in the right measurements. So make sure you have a scale. You can turn it on, and you can turn your scale to 0 by pressing tare. So we're going to start with the flour. On this recipe, we are going to use 900 grams of flour. Make sure it's on grams. Pour it in until we get to 900. It really is a lot of flour. Okay, and I still need 100 grams more, so I'm going to grab some more. I'm going to get 100 grams more here. Almost there. Okay, 900. Okay, and then I'm going to tare again, and we're going to put in 440 grams of warm water. We use them warm because it helps the sourdough starter to react properly. So and pour this in until we get to 220. Oh, I'm sorry, actually 440 because we're doubling. Let's get there. Just a little more. Perfect. Okay, and then we need salt. I use this Redmond real salt. It is by far the best. It's made in America. I should say mined in America. It is pink salt. It is just honestly the best. And there are a lot of minerals inside. So, again, press tare. And for this, we're going to want to put in 24 grams. So, let's put them in slowly. Oops. Okay, so we're done with that, and now, again, 24 grams, and this time sugar. Okay, so I just realized that the camera wasn't recording when I added the sourdough to our dough mixture. So I'm just going to show you, this is what my sourdough looks like. Super bubbly and super healthy. So I usually put about 100 grams into our dough. So this is what it looks like in the end. We'll just let it sit here for a couple hours. I'm going to cover it with a kitchen towel. And that can go in the refrigerator, like I said, completely overnight, and then tomorrow when you take it out of the refrigerator, you let it sit on the countertop for about 2 hours, and then you can start working with it. Okay, so let's get started. Let's put parchment paper down here. And I always use my bench scraper for shaping these bagels. You'll see. So you could use your scale to weigh them out and make them really equal and even. but I don't. I kind of like the rustic look. And I think the kids do too. So then I just roughly, I think like that. Okay. So I kind of take it like this, push the point back in so it becomes more of a ball, and then I stick my fingers through and just kind of form it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Put it right there. Okay, so we'll do that again. Form our little bagel hole and then kind of even it out. There. And you get the picture. Okay, so we have just 3 left. I'm just gonna make more of a ball.
Could I come and help?
Oh, sure, hon bun. Okay, you wanna jump in? Here. So you're gonna stick your thumbs through there and make a hole. There you go. Okay, now shape it. Show the camera.
Sticky.
And just make it kind of a ball. And then
Could I make a ball?
yeah. Go ahead.
Like this?
Yeah, let's go like this. Alright, now you can put your thumbs through the center.
That looks like a muffin if you go like this. Like a...
Okay, make
cinnamon
it a
bun.
bagel.
It's hard.
Good job. Okay, put it on the pan. Okay, so then this is our pan and our water is over there boiling, so it's nice and ready. We're gonna put a little bit of honey in the boiling pot to boil these bagels in. And
They're going to turn out tasty.
yes, they are. Okay, so we're gonna put our bagels right here. Our water is boiling. We just need a little bit of honey. Okay, we're gonna put a little bit of honey in there. Just a squirt. Dandy frying tool. Let's give that honey a stir so it has a chance to dissolve in there. We'll put this in. I like to do 3 at a time. Actually, I take that back. I like to do 4 at a time. Just make sure that they don't stick to the bottom. They do once you put them in, but you gotta move them a little bit. They come free. So that is what they look like in the boiling water. Just gonna let them sit there for a minute or 2. They should start to float when they are done. Okay, so I'll show you again. You see how they're just starting to float up to the top there? That one in the back. That is a very good sign. Oh, there goes that one too. That's awesome. It took us about 3-4 minutes to get here. The recipe that I follow says just to boil for 1 minute and then flip it over and boil 1 more minute, but I have found that that does not work. So I don't know, but for me it takes about 4 minutes for a set of 4 to do this. But the floating is a really good sign. So what we're going to do now is take these guys out, drain them off as best you can. And as you can see, they kind of just look like soggy bread. It doesn't look very good at this point, but we're gonna put them on the pan. Just like this. Make sure they're turned over to the right side because we are going to be sprinkling some toppings on them. Okay, so we are going to use this everything but the bagel sesame seed blend. I love this, and the kids do too. First time I made these, I made half with the seasoning and half without. And the kids were like, can you only leave 1 plain or 2 plain? Because they loved the seasoning. So you can try for yourself and see. I would love to know what you end up choosing. We're gonna put 4 more in. And we're gonna let those sit and boil up. Okay, so we're just gonna, again, make sure they're not sticking to the bottom. Give them a little flip. And let that sit until they float to the top. And then we only have 1 more round to go. And then after that, we'll bake them. So make sure you get your oven started, preheated. Preheat to 450. And that should be it. Okay, so last batch. Take these out. Okay, so now into the oven we go. I'm gonna put them in the middle. We are at 450 and I am going to put these in for 15 minutes and then we'll check. And then, but I still think that even after 15 minutes, we'll probably need 5 minutes more. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, so we've cleaned up the kitchen. We are just waiting on the bagels to finish up. I did add 5 more minutes to the oven timer because they just didn't look done yet. So in the meantime, I am going to show you how I make bows. I'm going to put a couple at the top of the garland that we just made together, kind of finish off the look. So I just take the ribbon like this and kind of fold it over each other in 2 loops. And then you pinch at the top and just kind of fold it into each other. Like that. And you can cut however you like at the bottom if you want. Long tails, short tails, pointed tails. I'm just gonna do that to start. And then I have a little bit of wire here. It is like floral wire that you can get at the craft store. Going to put a piece around the middle. That's what we can use to tie it up with, and then I'm going to tie a piece of this so that you don't see that at all. And you kind of make it as fluffy or crinkly as you want. I think I'm going to do this with the tails. I'll show you in 1 second. This is the prettiest ribbon. Okay, so I did this with my tails. And I'm just gonna take a piece of this kitchen string. Actually, I didn't need a piece that long, but that's okay. And then tie it around in the middle. Make a knot on the back. Cut off the extra. And we have a really cute ribbon. I should say a bow. Okay. Alright, and that is exactly what they should look like. A little bit brown on the top, but not overcooked. They are perfect. Alright. Now that is what I'm talking about. Takes 2 days to make them, but they are absolutely worth it. So we'll have my taste tester come on in just a little bit. Okay, so I think our bagels are ready to try. They're still warm, but not too warm. I have my taste tester here. Do you want to try a plain bagel or a sesame seed bagel?
A plain one.
A plain one, okay.
It's bagel with the cream cheese.
So let me cut this in half for you. Oh, it is still really hot, so be careful.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's steaming. Is this one of your favorites, Lil?
Yeah.
Bagels?
Yeah, I love bagels.
Yeah. And they are so good. Completely fresh and out of the oven, right?
Yeah. It's so good. Sourdough bagels. I'm so excited. Like, what did she make? They're like, oh, sourdough bagels? Like,
Okay, be careful because it's still warm. But you and I will take a taste test together, okay? Don't burn yourself. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
that's real good.
It is, isn't it?
Delicious.
I think those are the best ones yet.
Well done, Mommy.
Thank you.
And you guys are gonna make them too. Like my mommy.
Yeah.
They're really
So thank you so much for watching my channel and coming along for the ride. It's fun, isn't it, Lil?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun baking.
It's fun sharing our life with others, right? So please don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget about that bell. I'll see you next time, friends. Thank you so much. Hey guys, this is the final product of the little garland we made. It is so cute. I feel like I can't even capture on camera how adorable it is. Those were the bows that we made while we were sitting here patiently waiting for our bagels. But look how adorable is this. I am completely and totally obsessed. I think it is so cute.